Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
This is
Oh,
a
but that was
demonstration
only.
of
Let's
Wirecast.
see if it switches it.
Yeah, it refreshes.
There we go. Perfect.
With a delay.
A little bit of a delay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk slow.
Oh, and look, this is watermarking it.
It says it will periodically watermark it. That's
Oh,
fine.
and then it goes away. Yeah, well, if it's free, that's like.
Cool. So
Okay, let me
we downloaded
see.
something called Wirecast.
Oh, it's hard to
Anywhere.
tell.
I have to
It's
turn
hard to
in
tell.
my computer tomorrow because I'm changing jobs. So yeah.
Oh,
This
so
is
we'll
a
wipe it.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Okay.
Well, anyway, I'll wipe it before they do.
Okay.
But anyway,
Congratulations.
that's cool. Well, then, just back to the National Academy.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, congrats.
There's a delay, so I can't tell if I'm tilting it correctly.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
This is good.
Perfect.
And
I
you
have
can see
the-
most of the screen.
I have the live stream, so I'll send out the link on Twitter. We're good.
Should do it now?
Yeah, I'll do it right now,
Yeah.
actually, before I head
Yeah,
out.
because we'll start in about 3 minutes.
This is a demonstration of
All right,
Wirecast.
everyone, we're going to start in about 3 minutes. So if you haven't had a chance to get something to eat, go ahead and get something back at the tables back here, and we'll be with you in about 3 minutes. Thanks.
I would be open to any possibility, but
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
right now I'm working as a conference.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Perfect. Just sent it.
This is a demonstration of
It's like it's
Wirecast.
about a 3-second delay.
Would you post it on the
Oh, no, I'll do that too.
So I'm going to introduce them and have them do their thing, and then I'll what time do you have to leave?
I have to leave like
Right now?
Do you want me to say something? Or
Well, I was just gonna. Well, I wanted to introduce you
This is a
to
demonstration of
Okay,
Wirecast.
if you don't mind.
No, that's fine. I'll stay for a few minutes. That's fine. My cable or internet person is coming at 7. Thank you for the store. This is the only time I could get them to come in.
No, I'm so glad you were here at the beginning.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wish I could see.
Well, thanks. I'm a little fiery.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast. This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
So you're on the professional development mentoring team. Do you have any other roles in Women Who Code? I was going to introduce you as well. Front end after the lab night, half night. You can tell how old I am.
No, when I started it was happening.
Okay,
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
what do we call it? Mentoring for the professional development or mentoring and professional development? Okay.
Oh no, you're perfect.
Brief words and I'll get out of here.
Yeah, me too. Same here. I have and Laura store.
Do you have any other leadership here since you were born? I just wanted to
This is a
introduce.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just didn't want to miss it.
The way our cables come into the alley, like come in from there, and then they get through like my window, like it's something.
It's fine. I think so.
But
Yeah,
I just don't flip it.
You gotta get that fixed.
Not my forte. Can't live without it.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Now you
Yeah.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
So we all run different sectors of the organization. I'm with the networking side, which is anything related to development, any of the facing content, and then any all organizations.
Okay. Now how does Sue fit into this? Because she's the one I've been talking to.
Yeah, Sue is our partnership. She does everything with getting spaces with sponsorships.
Got it. That's why I've
So
been
she works with every league.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Language events, and then an operations specialist who kind of like helps each of us.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you. This is wonderful. I don't know if you might use this your first time.
I think it is. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I went to GW. I feel like GW alums are like
Yeah, we got a lot of them.
everywhere.
Yep.
All right.
Let's
Ready?
Yeah.
I hope it's.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
It should be fine.
Projecting. Okay.
It's on a 3 second.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our mentoring meetup for this evening. I'm Natasha Linzo. I'm the lead of the mentoring program at Women Who Code DC. And I just wanted to take a quick second to introduce our director of Women Who Code DC, Lauren Jacobson. She has to run out with a cable problem, but I want to introduce you to her before she leaves, and she's the one who sets all this in motion.
This is a
I can't
demonstration
take
of
credit for this about
Wirecast.
this. It's all Natasha. Hi everybody. How are you doing tonight? So I just want to say hi. I'm sorry I can't stay tonight. I have to get my internet back up and running after the storm. So just gotta do those adult things. Just by a show of hands, how many of you have never been to a Women Who Code event before? This is your first one. Awesome. Congratulations. Like, good on you for just like taking that first step and like coming to one of our events. I hope that this like allows you kind of the opportunity to
This
start
is a
coming to some of our
demonstration
future
of
events and like really
Wirecast.
motivates you to just become a more active member in the women in tech community here in DC. Women Who Code DC is the largest of all of the Women Who Code branches here and around the world. In the past year, we hosted over 223 events. And there's only 365 days, so that's pretty cool, right? And we really try to open ourselves up to women from all levels of development, all levels and
This is a
backgrounds,
demonstration of
who want to learn
Wirecast.
pretty much any type of language. We have hack nights almost every night of the week to focus on specific languages. We have our network events like this tonight, focused on professional development. And we have tech talks that are focused on very specific topics. So you want to learn about Angular or PHP or how to build a portfolio page, things like that. From low level to high level and everywhere in between. And I encourage you to, if something sounds cool to you, just sign up, come show up.
This is a
I
demonstration
started as a
of
developer
Wirecast.
3 years ago with Women Who Code, teaching myself. So this is how I became a developer and a member of this organization, and And I encourage all of you, no matter what your background, like this is a great place to kind of get your bearings. And if it's not being a developer, just finding what way you want to be a part of the tech community. Because I think there's a place for everyone. So again, welcome. Just really happy to see all of you. And yeah, thank you to Natasha for organizing this. This is going to be a wonderful event.
This
so,
is a demonstration
she's got
of
an incredible
Wirecast.
background with organizing things around mentorship and sponsorship. So you'll learn a lot tonight.
Cool. Thanks so much,
Thank
Lauren.
you.
I also want to call out Ksenia Coulter, who is one of our professional development leads in the mentoring program. So she's here helping us tonight. And I'm going to turn the time over to Amy McMahon from Advisory Board Company. Yay! Advisory Board Company. They are our hosts and our sponsors, and they actually contributed all the food. So we're very grateful to be in your space, and thanks for hosting us.
Our pleasure. We're really excited to have you guys here. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the first time we've hosted your group in our space, so hopefully this is the first of many. I'm really excited to have you guys here for a couple of reasons. One, from a personal standpoint, I have a 10-year-old daughter who is starting to show some interest in graphic design. And so, I'm hoping that
This is a
over time
demonstration
that might
of
turn into
Wirecast.
something maybe tech related. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just excited that she could potentially have a group of people that she could eventually get involved with when it's time to start thinking about careers that can really help to mentor her. I know your group has been instrumental in mentoring a lot of people, a lot of women in the technology space, and so we're really excited to have you here for that reason. And also here at the advisory board, from a professional standpoint, we're excited to have you. I'm a director of recruiting
This is
here
a
at our
demonstration
company,
of
and
Wirecast.
something that's really important to us is to ensure that we continue to have diversity in our ranks. Not only just across the company, but of course also within technology. As you all know, there's a little bit of a difference generally out in the marketplace, and we're really excited to engage with you. And if you guys are ever thinking about opportunities out there, I hope that you'll consider the advisory board. We have a lot of different types of roles available in engineering.
This is a demonstration
anyone know
of
Django,
Wirecast.
Python? We're looking for you right now. But we also have lots of opportunities with our new product development team, our implementation team, a lot of opportunities to engage with members and our company in terms of the types of services that we provide are both in healthcare and higher education. So what's exciting, I think, about working for us and something that we're going to show you in a video is the work that you do really has a great impact on both healthcare and higher education. So
This is a
we'd
demonstration
love
of
to show you a little bit, just
Wirecast.
a very quick video before your presentation starts, just to give you a feel for kind of technology at the advisory board. And we're going to stick around, and if you have any questions, want to chat at all about opportunities at the advisory board, you're welcome to chat with Katie Gray, my colleague here. Casey McClelland is in the back, and Erin Tuck might still be letting people in. She was the one that badged you up probably, but we're all available to chat about opportunities if you're interested. But Katie's going to go ahead and show you a video.
This
Thanks
is a
again for coming, guys.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Yes.
And you said Django and Python?
We are the advisory board company,
A cutting-edge research and technology firm.
creating products that make healthcare and higher ed better and smarter.
Better and smarter, better and smarter.
Better and smarter for everyone.
We're people just like you. We want a challenge. We want to learn. We want the opportunity to make an impact on important problems. We do this by leaving our titles at the door.
And bringing our
This
skills
is a
into
demonstration
work
of
together to create
Wirecast.
products that make hospitals better.
Like helping doctors learn from their own practice to be more efficient and effective.
We create products that make universities smarter.
Like helping students stay on track with their core curriculum. I'm Claire. I'm a user experience designer, and I'm working on helping users to streamline their costs in the OR. I'm Grace. I'm a product manager working on OR capacity, helping hospitals manage really complex operating room schedules.
I'm Eric. I'm a software engineer working on a new product to help hospitals better engage with their patients.
I'm Clyde. I'm currently
This
working
is
on
a
the
demonstration
data
of
cost
Wirecast.
I'm Josh. I'm currently working on a new initiative that will help hospitals reduce supply cost mitigation.
I like working at the advisory board because Because of the great work-life balance.
Because they continually invest in me and my personal growth.
Because they give me support to support the community. Because of the innovative products we create.
Because we have the opportunity to contribute to something meaningful. I like working at the advisory board because we get to chart our own course, hang out with some different people, and it's really just a lot of fun.
We create technology products that bring better and more efficient healthcare.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Universities and colleges to run more effectively and allow students to graduate on time.
This is our passion.
This is our passion.
This is our passion. This is the advisory board company.
We are
Thanks, Ken. Thanks for having us on. Go in the back.
This is a demonstration
Alright,
of
so,
Wirecast.
as you know from the meetup list, the structure of the evening is going to be, first of all, I'm going to give a presentation about mentoring and sponsoring and the importance of that, and then we're going to turn the time over to the Lean In group, which we're very happy to have today, and I want to take a minute to introduce them before we get started on the presentations. This is MC Bones, who is... What's your role at
I'm
Lean
the
In?
co-director of Lean In.
Okay, so co-director
This
of Lean
is
In
a demonstration
and
of Wirecast.
Siri Raj Stevens. I am the STEM lead for Lean In DC, so I have a coding background, so we can definitely connect.
Great. So we'll be hearing from them after my presentation. And as I get started with this, this presentation was originally given by Lucy Sanders at our mentoring program launch in November of 2015. So just one caveat, some of these statistics might be a little bit dated, but
This is a
there's
demonstration
still really
of
some great
Wirecast.
information in this, so we're going to use it anyway. All right, so next slide. All right, so why is support so important? Women in the United States comprise 57% of the professional occupations. They hold 25% of the computing jobs. They make up 19% of software developers and 15% of computer hardware engineers. So you see those numbers sort of going down as you get
This is
into
a
more
demonstration of
specialized. And
Wirecast.
I think we can all agree there's a real need for changing those numbers from the bottom up. All right, next one. And especially diversity in tech. Black and Hispanic professionals comprise only 16% of professional occupations, but 30% of the population. I'd love to see that number go up. Black and Hispanic men hold 9% of U.S. computing jobs, and Black and Hispanic women hold 4%.
This is a
US
demonstration of
computing
Wirecast.
jobs. And that's actually based on statistics from the Department of Labor from 2012. All right. So, poll number one. If you were asked to explain the difference between mentors and sponsors, how confident are you in your ability to do so at this point in my presentation? All right, think about that for a second. Okay, next slide. So, the difference between mentors and sponsors is that
This
mentors
is a
advise
demonstration of
and sponsors
Wirecast.
act. And before we did this mentoring program launch, all I'd ever heard of was mentoring. And I was like, mentoring. You've got a mentor. You need a mentor. You need to be in that space. But I didn't realize how critical the role of sponsors is. And so that's one of the things I want you to be sure and take away from this presentation is that mentors are great, but sponsors are the ones that really get you ahead in your career. And I'm sure the Lean In
This
people
is a demonstration
have
of
some
Wirecast.
agreement in that. Okay, next slide. All right, so a mentoring, let's talk about the difference between the relationships. A mentoring relationship provides tips, strategies, advice, networking. It helps you to increase confidence and reduce your feelings of isolation or stress, and helps you navigate the unwritten rules in an organization. It forms at the request of a mentee or as a result of a formal mentoring program. And how many of
This
you
is a
in
demonstration
the
of
audience
Wirecast.
today actually there's a formal mentoring program at your office? Anyone? Whoa. Oh, okay. Oh, that's awesome. So you guys have one here? Okay, great. Well, that's another plus for you. So if that is not happening at your work, you've got to think about where else are you going to get that. And I would guess that that's probably a big part of the reason why a lot of you are here tonight.
This
It
is a
exists at any
demonstration of
level of the
Wirecast.
organizational hierarchy. So you could be mentored by someone who has a similar role to you, or someone who is like much higher in the organization. And with mentoring, it's a little freer as far as how those relationships are formed. All right, and for a sponsoring relationship provides public and private endorsement and advocacy for highly visible stretch assignments, jobs, and promotions. This is where the money is,
demonstration
right?
of
I mean, this is
Wirecast.
where you really get the kind of support that leads to those promotions and those new opportunities. It enables career advancement and positive visibility with senior leaders. But here's the crucial piece. It forms at the discretion of the sponsor who drives the relationship and expects loyalty and performance in return. So that's a crucial difference between a mentor and a sponsor. A mentor does it for free, like sort
This
of
is
gives
a
of their
demonstration
time
of
and
Wirecast.
helps you along. A sponsor, they're going to expect a return on their investment. They're going to expect that you're going to show sort of the quality that you're made of. If they're going to invest in you, you've got to give them something back, which is, showing that their trust in you is well placed. It exists only at senior levels of the organizational hierarchy. So you're not going to get a sponsor, like someone who's at your same level is not going to be able to
This is a
sponsor you. It's got to be
demonstration of
someone
Wirecast.
higher up in the organization. So that's it's so valuable, but it's so hard to get. And the more organizations are aware of this, I think it will change that dynamic. Okay, so poll number 2. I believe that I have how many mentors? If you just think about, and we're talking, formal, informal, how many mentors would you say you have? 5 plus, 3, 4, 2, 1, none?
This
Okay.
is a
Think
demonstration
about
of
that.
Wirecast.
Mentoring relationships can be very short term, or they can be like long term and very formal. So there's a whole range. So as you're thinking about those numbers, there may be somebody that, when you get stuck, they're like a friend you can call. That's mentoring. There's also, mentors like they have at work here where you meet formally, maybe once a month or weekly. So there are different levels of mentoring, but so when you're thinking of those numbers,
This is a
and the key
demonstration
with this
of
slide too is that
Wirecast.
you shouldn't just be looking for one mentor. There's not going to be like this unicorn perfect mentor out there that's just like this most beautiful fit with you. The best way to do this is have a portfolio of mentors and use them, and mentors who have different strengths that can help you with different aspects of your career. All right, next slide. All right, so mentors advise. Key point there.
This is a demonstration of
7 secrets of
Wirecast.
mentoring relationships, and this slide here called "Mentoring in a Box." That's actually a kit of mentoring materials produced by the National Center for Women in Information Technology that Lucy Sanders is the CEO of. And I highly recommend these materials if you're just getting started. If you've found someone who wants to mentor you, or if you want to mentor somebody else, it's a great toolkit. It helps you set up that relationship and sort of formalize it so that everybody's on the same page. You have the right expectations and they know what they're going to get out of it, and everybody's sort of clear about those parameters before you start. All right. So the first rule is agree on your purposes and roles from the beginning. So when you're setting up a mentoring relationship, you want to think about, what do you want to get out of it? Professional skills? Do you want to expand your network, increase visibility, navigate unwritten rules, run more effective meetings or teams, better promote yourself, or clarify your long-term aspirations? All of these, and maybe all of the above, right? but the more specific you are about what your purpose is, and also the roles that you are each going to play. That's very helpful to start from the beginning. Number 2, set realistic goals and expectations. Be realistic with your goals. For example, some people use SMART goals
This is a demonstration
that are
of
specific,
Wirecast.
measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. So most mentoring relationships are not, long-term across your entire career. That's very rare. In fact, usually it's sort of very time-specific. Maybe you want to do like a 6-month stint of mentoring with somebody, or you set those parameters, but make sure that you're both on the same page as far as what your expectations are for that relationship.
This is a
Okay.
demonstration of Wirecast.
One of the goals in mentoring in particular, and this is something mentors can advise about, is how to better promote yourself. What is your elevator pitch? Like how would you describe yourself if you had 3 minutes with the CEO in an elevator? What would you highlight, or how would you present yourself? That's something a mentor can help with. Number 3 is establish timelines for your goals and
This is a
evaluate
demonstration
your
of
progress.
Wirecast.
So realistic and specific is the key terms here. You should make sure your goals are concrete, they're broken up into steps, and also so you can track how you're achieving them, just like we ask companies to do with metrics. So if you haven't defined those goals specifically, it's going to be really hard to know if you're achieving those. And also, as you're practicing your elevator pitch, when are you going to do that?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
What's that goal? Okay. Another thing that a mentor can do is encourage and accelerate your learning outside of your comfort zone. Now, that's what the really good mentors do. They don't just help you get better in what your current strengths are. They stretch you and push the envelope a little bit and encourage you to reach higher. For the mentors, be sure you're willing to encourage your mentees, but also help them step outside the comfort areas.
This is a demonstration of
For example,
Wirecast.
ensure that female employees are focusing on high-value, visible work. Assign women in your teams to critical technical roles with high visibility. Keep track of which employees on your team get which roles. Watch for patterns where women are assigned to roles that are less visible or more endangered, such as they would be the first to be downsized or potential scapegoat roles. So a mentor can also protect you from some of those
This
events.
is a demonstration
For
of
mentees,
Wirecast.
you want to take risks. Be willing, if you're going to get mentored, be willing to take risks and step outside your comfort zone. Ask for opportunities that will stretch you professionally. Research shows that women can be harsher critics of their work than men, and this can prevent them from applying for positions even though they are highly qualified. Remember that when taking a new role, you are expected to grow into it. You don't need to have all of the answers before the beginning, and
This is a
terribly,
demonstration of Wirecast.
I do that all the time, but anyway, it's important to be aware of those tendencies and to fight against them. But that's something a mentor can help you with. All right, so another key role that a mentor can perform is to shield you from major professional errors or missteps. You have to balance this with the previous step with risk-taking. So make
is a
sure that the risks you're
demonstration of
taking are
Wirecast.
reasonable and well thought out. Talk about the difference between the need to let mentees be their own person and maybe make mistakes along the way, but don't let that stop you from stepping in and warning them if they're about to make a move that could be a really big mistake or really hurt their career. So mentors can also give that kind of advice, and you have to be open to that too when you're in a mentoring relationship. But sometimes they're going to try to warn you, and
This is
you
a
have to be
demonstration
receptive to
of
that as well.
Wirecast.
All right, number 6, don't attempt to create mini me's. Now that's a very tempting thing to do because you're like, well, I was successful, and this is what I did, and this is how I did it. What the best mentors do is they get to know who you are and the kind of person you are, and then they encourage you in a way that's going to help you, just like a good teacher would do. They're not going to push you to become a carbon copy of themselves. But like I said, it's very tempting to do that, and it's easier because you know that path. But maybe that's not the path that your mentee needs to take because they have a different way of doing things, or they're comfortable in a different way. All right, and the last one is listen, and then listen some more. This is important for both the mentees and the mentors. The NCWIT research, like on male advocates, talked about the importance of listening and how helpful it was for them at every stage of the mentoring process. All right. This is Lucy Sanders' myths about mentors. And we're going to talk about each one. First of all, bosses don't make good mentors. Absolutely false. A boss can be your best mentor. Now, that's not always the case. And if your boss is not a good mentor, you got to look elsewhere. But they can be excellent mentors. And in fact, they can sort of serve a dual role of being your sponsor and your mentor because they have that sort of higher level of authority. Your mentor needs to look like you. Absolutely not. Your mentor can be a man, a woman. It could be someone of a different gender, different race. It doesn't matter what they look like. It's more the relationship that you develop and the skills that they have that you want to learn and the kinds of qualities that they have that you think you can get something from that relationship. You need to like your mentor. Like I said, sometimes you're going to get feedback or advice from your mentor that you're not going to be happy with or you're not going to like. So take it with a grain of salt. I mean, you have to listen and try to take it in, but then you also have to do, in the end, you have to choose what's best for you. So you have to kind of walk that fine line. Mentoring is a replacement for hard work. Absolutely not. In fact, what I've found in my career is that the people that work hard they're the ones that also get the mentors, and the ones that to sit there waiting for someone to drop out of the sky and give them a mentoring relationship, that's never going to happen. So mentoring, a big part of mentoring is you taking initiative and asking for it. If there are people in your circle or in your
demonstration of Wirecast
at Women Who Code or whatever, if you meet people that you think would be a good mentor, you should take the first step. I mean, sometimes they might, but you also have to work for it even while you're being mentored. You can and should tell a mentor everything. Absolutely not. That's actually can be one of the most valuable things as you're going through a mentoring relationship is figuring out, well, what is it appropriate to tell and what is it not? And, that's sort of a personal matter, but you don't have to tell them everything. And that part of what comes in there is like the mentor's own limitations. There may be some things that they can't help you with, or there may be some things that they're not able to help you with. So again, with a grain of salt, you must take a mentor's advice. Now, what you should do is listen to it, take it in, and then you still have to, you're the one that's in the driver's seat of your career. So you still got to take all that information in. If you have multiple mentors, sometimes that can get a little confusing because you're getting different advice from different mentors. But just take it in and sort it out for yourself. That's part of developing in your career is figuring out, what do I think? How does this fit me? Does it not fit me? And we all make mistakes and we all might give advice that might not be helpful to somebody. And so you've got to figure out and sometimes it's trial and error and that's just how it is. But at least you're getting some advice from somebody. And And then mentoring is enough. Absolutely not. That's why part of this, the second half of this slide presentation is about sponsoring, because mentoring will only get you so far. It may get you better at your current position, but it's not going to get you sort of that next mile. Okay, thanks. All right, poll number 3. I believe
This
that I
is a
have
demonstration
blank
of
number of
Wirecast.
sponsors. Just curious. Yes. Oh. Okay.
Can we do show of hands?
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say, like, how many of you in the room actually know they have at least one sponsor? How about that? Wow. Not very many. Okay, we've got work to do here. But yeah, so that's unfortunate. But a big part of what needs to happen there, I think, is educating companies
This is a demonstration
about
of
what
Wirecast.
our needs are with sponsoring, and making that more transparent, and the importance of it, emphasizing that. Okay, so Sponsors Act. What do mentors do? Mentors advise. Sponsors Act. Okay, good. So sponsorship pays off. The research says that women will ask for high visibility work 44% more of the
This is a
time
demonstration
when
of
they are
Wirecast.
sponsored. They will report a satisfactory pace and promotion 68% of the time when they're sponsored. And the mothers who stay employed after they have their children, 85% of the women who stay employed are sponsored women. So those are some pretty dramatic statistics there, but it's just something, to keep in mind that underscores the importance of sponsorship. This is the
This
hardest
is a
part about
demonstration of
sponsorship, is that
Wirecast.
it generally happens organically. It's not something that you can control or orchestrate. I mean, we'll talk a little bit about you can sort of grease the wheels a little bit. A lot of it has to happen. You have to sort of be picked by a sponsor. It doesn't work the other way around. But it can be encouraged. Champion sponsorship broadly in your companies.
This is a demonstration of
Another thing to
Wirecast.
do is to train senior leaders on societal unconscious bias. We had a great workshop with Lucy Sanders last year. We had 30 CEOs, and she presented on unconscious bias. That's another event that I hope to share with the Women Who Code in general, because we all have unconscious bias. I mean, it's unconscious, so it's hard to identify, but there are ways of changing that dynamic, and that's
This
one
is
of
a
the key
demonstration
pieces
of
of this, is
Wirecast.
training the senior leaders. Factoring leaders' sponsorship efforts into performance appraisals. That's another way that you can encourage sponsorship. So when they say the performance appraisals, those are the performance appraisals of the sponsors, of the leaders. And how many people are they, at an organization, how many people in the senior leadership roles are actually sponsoring particular individuals, and who are they sponsoring? Is it all
of
of them?
Wirecast.
Or are there women that they're sponsoring too? Or recognize the value of mixed gender sponsorship. Again, your sponsor does not have to look like you, and you really limit yourself if you think that, sometimes that can be helpful, but it doesn't have to be that. And then be as transparent as possible about the skill set needed for promotion in a company. That's part of what sponsors
This
can
is a
can help
demonstration of
clarify.
Wirecast.
And if you're looking for a sponsor, put yourself in positions where potential sponsors can observe your work and gain confidence in taking a risk on your behalf. Don't just ask or expect them to be sponsors without having these kinds of informal interactions. So you kind of have to prove your quality. You have to prove that you're valuable enough for them to take a risk on your behalf. That's sort of the underlying aspect of that. All right.
This
Poll
is a
number 4.
demonstration of Wirecast.
A, mentors and sponsors will correct the bleak statistics for women in tech, or B, mentors and sponsors are insufficient to address the bleak statistics for women in tech. What do you think? How many A's? How many people think that'll do it? Okay, couple. How many think it's not enough? Okay, we're about 50-50. I think I would tend towards the insufficiency.
This
There
is a
are a lot of
demonstration
different
of Wirecast.
aspects of this, but it definitely helps correct those statistics, but it doesn't do, that's not all that's going to help that. Okay. So mentoring helps you traverse the organizational maze, like we said, you know, the culture and help you navigate through, but sponsoring actually changes that maze and changes the dynamics of companies. I mean, you could think about that for a minute. If you've ever been sponsored,
This is a demonstration
it's
of
really quite
Wirecast.
life-changing. Okay. All right, so there are a few ways that you can identify and cultivate relationships with potential sponsors. First of all, you need to understand the difference between mentors and sponsors, which I think I pretty much hammered that home already, so I won't. But just that the mentors are going to offer inspiration, coaching, and support, and sponsors are going to actually act on your account.
This is a
And
demonstration of
use their influence or
Wirecast.
power in the organization. So, you want to look in your company for potential sponsors who have seniority, visibility, and power. Choosing a sponsor only because you admire them or feel at ease with their approach is not always the best strategy. Sponsors must be in positions of power and influence if they are to gain positive attention for their proteges from the top level executives. Seek sponsors that are 2 or more levels above you. Now,
This
that may
is a
not always be
demonstration
possible
of
if you're in a small
Wirecast.
organization, but that idea of looking for the people that are higher up in the organization. 3, look for leaders who are already advocating for other underrepresented employees. Even though they might not officially call it sponsorship, many leaders are already successfully advocating for women or other underrepresented groups. Try to find leaders who have a successful record and good reputation for engaging in this kind of advocacy.
This
So
is a
think for a
demonstration
minute if
of
there are some people
Wirecast.
that you know at your company who are already serving as sponsors. Those might be potential sponsors for you as well. And number 5, well, some companies have formal programs recognize that the sponsor relationship develops organically. So what you can do is put yourself in situations where you can demonstrate a willingness to go above and beyond, as this will increase a potential sponsor's confidence in taking a risk or spending social
This is a
capital in promoting
demonstration
your
of
work.
Wirecast.
And also remember that it can take some time for a sponsor to gain trust in your abilities. So, you know, it doesn't happen immediately or overnight. All right. So, also, number 6, keep in mind that senior leaders can act as sponsors without formally taking on that label. That's the same thing that's true of mentoring. Someone might be willing to work with you, but they might not call themselves your mentor. But it's just how you think of them and,
This is
you
a
know, and how they
demonstration of
serve
Wirecast.
with you. Sponsorship is a relatively new term that may be too formal or unfamiliar to use in your workplace. Talk with others in the organization to figure out the preferred language. So there may be another term they use depending on where you work. 7, generally the sponsor is the one to initiate advocacy efforts, but at times it can be appropriate to ask if he or she would be willing to recommend you for a specific opportunity. So sometimes asking for this
This is a
is a
demonstration
little
of
easier
Wirecast.
or better than initiating like a big extensive discussion about having them be your sponsor. Just having a formal request of, hey, I would really like to try XYZ, you know, could you give me that opportunity? All right, number 9, focus on creating a network of sponsors inside and outside of your organizations. Look for people with influence in the field or in areas of expertise that you would like to refine.
This is a
That gives you
demonstration of
multiple options for
Wirecast.
career building. So you don't want to build your whole structure or your portfolio of sponsors and mentors within a particular company, because if that doesn't work out, you've got to do it all over again. So try and have a balance of mentors and sponsors within your company and outside, so that and it also increases your visibility in your network, and it can also increase your visibility of your company. All right,
This
and
is a
lastly,
demonstration
remain
of
open to new
Wirecast.
sponsors as your needs and career evolve. This may include recognizing the need for new or different sponsors as you advance, encounter different assignments, or shift career goals or trajectories. I mean, I don't think there's anybody in this day and age who has like this career trajectory that just goes straight up. You know, there might be some zigzags and different paths that you try, and you're like, that's not so good. So you know, you might need a different kind of sponsor if you go on a
This
different
is
kind
a
of path.
demonstration
So
of
be open to
Wirecast.
that. And also, this can mean becoming a sponsor yourself. Sponsoring others can help you understand what the relationship is like from the sponsor's end, which also makes you a better protege. All right, so these are all the organizations that are part of the National Center for Women in Information Technology, and Women Who Code DC is actually an affiliate of theirs. So anyway, I just put that in as a thank you for.
This is a
they
demonstration
do a
of
lot of
Wirecast.
research and provide these statistics on women in technology. And they also provide some great resources free on their website, which is ncwit.org. The 10 ways to increase your visibility, mentoring in a box, unconscious bias, sponsorship toolkit. That's where I got a lot of this information. Top 10 ways managers can increase the visibility of technical women. So all of these
This
resources
is a
are focused
demonstration
on
of Wirecast.
improving the careers and lives of technical women. So it's really just a ton of great resources there. All right, poll number 5. I believe that I am or could be a mentor to somebody, a sponsor to somebody, a leader for organizational change. And I hope that you consider yourself all three of these things, because there's always going to be somebody who
This
doesn't
is a
know as much as you,
demonstration
and
of
there's always going to be
Wirecast.
people who know a lot more than you. So you know those roles, and they change over time and evolve, and sometimes you don't learn something really well until you try to teach somebody else. So I hope that you would all be willing to consider taking all three of these roles in your careers. That's it. All right, thanks very much. Do we have any questions? Anybody
This is a
have any
demonstration of
questions?
Wirecast.
Or if you would like to share a quick story about mentoring or a sponsor experience that you had in your career, I'll give you a chance to think about that for a minute. Yes. Yeah. Question?
This is my first time to Women Who Code.
Oh, welcome. Great.
You already have the answer for this, but do you guys have a formal pairing system for mentor-mentees?
So not yet.
Can we repeat that question?
This is
Oh,
a
yeah,
demonstration
sorry.
of
For the live
Wirecast.
stream, the question was, do we have a formal pairing or mentoring system within Women Who Code? No, we don't. What we do have, though, are lab nights where you can go and there's a small group of people and you can get mentoring there. And also on Slack, you can get like sort of online mentoring. And how many of you have joined Slack already and have
This is a
been active
demonstration
on
of
that platform?
Wirecast.
Anybody? Okay, so we'll get you signed up for Slack. That's a good way to identify who are the movers and shakers in each channel. Yes,
I
Cassandra.
can take that one. Actually, if you're part of the Slack community, there is a lot of online mentoring going on through various channels. But also, that is a great place to ask someone that you see is active and maybe works at a company you're interested in or works in an industry you're interested in, and ask them, would you be interested in meeting
This
with
is a
me for
demonstration
coffee,
of
or,
Wirecast.
would you be interested in helping me with this project? And, chances are they're going to say yes, or find someone else who is going to say yes, and that's a good way to start a mentorship relationship.
Great, and also that's something that MC and Didi are going to be talking about. That's part of why we partnered with Lean In, because they have these, and I'm not going to steal your thunder completely, but I will say that's part of why we brought them here tonight, and we're hoping for an ongoing partnership, is they have these small groups of women who meet and sort of mentor each other, and that can be a starting place for developing these, these more sort of one-on-one kind of relationships and mentoring. But the best thing you've done is to come here tonight and get to meet. I mean, we're all in this room could be potential mentors. So, and we're sort of going back and forth about how to, if we want to set up like a formal mentoring program or not, because we have over 5,000 members, and just the logistics of it are just like terrifying. So anyway, we're what we will do, and we will continue to do, is provide the opportunities for you to meet each other. Another great opportunity is once a month we have a professional developers brunch, and that's a great opportunity. You can come on I think it's on Sundays now, have brunch and sit at a table with somebody you don't know and get to know each other, and maybe some mentoring and sort of organically evolve from that. So what we do right now, we give you those tools that I mentioned here. We give you opportunities with our meetups, and then as we go forward, and if you're interested in the Lean In circles, that would be a great place to start too, because we're just trying to. It's not a one-size-fits-all, but we're trying to give you as many different kinds of channels and opportunities, and be creative in mentoring and finding a mentor.
Of Wirecast.
Because if you're looking for them, that's when you'll find them. If so you're asking the right questions. Okay, any other questions?
I don't know how much time you actually have, but I wanted to know from you or anybody here the point about having your boss act as a sponsor or a mentor, and kind of traversing that relationship where you want to prove to them that you're capable and can reach out to others in the organization.
This is a
but also see
demonstration
them
of
as a source
Wirecast.
of valuable information, and trying to figure out how to approach that relationship.
So how do you figure out if your boss is a good mentor or could be potentially? Is that what you're asking a little bit? Or
Yeah, and getting just establishing that relationship as a sponsorship and less of a like boss and employee.
Well, so a couple of things you can do right off. First of all, when we talked about taking the initiative, saying,
is a demonstration
hey,
of Wirecast.
I would love to have, I mean, it depends on your company and I don't know, but I would love to have this, I would love to be the lead on this team, or hey, could you give me a chance to explore this programming language? I'm really interested in learning it, and I'd like to work with this team over here. Stuff like that. So you can make suggestions, and when you make those kinds of suggestions or you take the initiative, that's proving your quality to your boss, and sort of they're saying, oh, she really wants to grow and learn and have new opportunities. And if they're a good boss, they're going to encourage that, and they're going to sort of nurture that and allow it to sort of flourish. So the big part is you realizing, what do you want? What do you want to do? And then take that to your boss and say, look, this, I'm really excited about this. Do you think you could help me get an opportunity like this? And be very specific, because a lot of people, they'll never in a million years say, oh, yes, I'll be a mentor. But if you come to them with a specific problem, or you come to them and say, I want this opportunity, that's something they can do, as long as it's in their power to grant that. But so part of it is you've got to sort of figure out what you want and then ask for it, if that helps.
Can I add to that?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
having been in those situations before, I think your question is a very good one. And the relationship between a boss and a
This
direct
is a
report
demonstration of
always,
Wirecast.
there's a lot of trust that has to be built, or a decent amount of trust that has to be built before they invest in sponsoring you. And I think once that has been built, after let's say 3 months, 6 months into the reporting to the same person. In my experience, a lot of these requests, hey, give me these opportunities, or I'm suitable for this, or I want to learn this, a lot of times that can happen best outside of work. So hey, can we grab a cup of coffee, and I wanted to bounce some ideas off you. How
This
you
is a
articulate
demonstration
it,
of Wirecast.
and the timing is so important. And like you said, Natasha, the right boss will give you those opportunities. So I think what I'm trying to say is earn the trust. When you ask for something, make sure you have done your due diligence and you're the right person. You have the information competence to do that, and articulate it well in a way that the boss knows that there's something in it for them as well. Just even if it's just getting comfort from sponsoring
This
you or
is a
putting you in
demonstration of
position to
Wirecast.
succeed. I found those to be successful tactics in having my boss as a sponsor.
Great, and I will also add to that it might not always be easy for that to happen. I mean, some people, there was a great story given by Lily Ganges at our mentoring launch that she had this woman in the organization. She was the only other woman. She was surrounded by these technical men. And this, she thought this woman should be helping her. But in fact, this woman was absolutely horrible to her, and she would just cut her down and all of this. And it was such an interesting story because she talked about how she sort of slowly, she's like, I've got to figure this woman out. Like, what's going on here? And she made special efforts to take her to coffee outside of work and just trying to get to know her and build that rapport. And she turned into one of the greatest sponsors she's ever had. But this woman was so
This is a
the
demonstration
opposite of what you would
Wirecast.
expect a mentor or a sponsor to be. But that was, and what a great professional development opportunity for Lily to be able to change the dynamic of that relationship. And it can be very powerful to do. But so your boss is not always going to say, oh yeah, sure, here you go. But part of getting to that process where they do is part of what you can learn professionally. So, but it's not always easy.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
If you asked, you've made it very clear that you want it, and then it's kind of on them, right? Okay, any other questions? Great. I'm going to turn the time over to MC and Nidhi, and we'll go to presentation number 2. And then we were thinking after they give their presentation, we're going to sort of have a sample lean-in circle that you guys all can participate in, you ladies can all participate in, so you can get a sense for what that's like. And
This is a demonstration of
we'll
Wirecast.
take it to that point.
Do you want us to stand up there?
Yeah, so so they can see you on the.
Yeah, I think it's First off, thank you so much for having us. This is so exciting for us in Lean in DC. So I'm MC, I'm the co-director, and I'm just going to give you a little bit background information about Lean In. Can I see a show of hands? Who knows about Lean In first off? Yay! Okay, great. So we know the premise of leaning in is, sitting down at the
This is a
table,
demonstration of
having
Wirecast.
women promote each other in the workplace, and that's our mission, is to empower each other in the workplace. So we're an umbrella chapter here in DC, and we're one of the biggest in the nation, which is really exciting, and we've also grown significantly in the past couple of months, which is really exciting, and we see a lot of response from women really wanting to do something and promote themselves in the workplace. So if you just want to go to the next slide. So our mission,
This is a
I've already said
demonstration
this, is
of
to empower women
Wirecast.
and achieve their ambitions. And we do this in 3 ways. So we've already touched on circles, which is our biggest push. We have over 32 circles in DC right now. And off the top of my head, I know that we have one circle for women in technology, another one for programmers, I'm pretty sure. And I think they're still open. But obviously, since we're here, we would love if there's any interest in creating more circles. And what Natasha was saying in the beginning, so circles are usually smaller groups of women. I would say 10 to 15 is a good size. We also have really big circles that actually take their own initiatives. One of our biggest circles is the International Women's Circle here in DC, and they actually like do their own events and like get speakers to come talk to them, which is fabulous. So we're a part of the exec board, which is 15 women, and we put on different events for the chapter in the DMV area, which is also considered
This is a demonstration
circle,
of
since we work
Wirecast.
with each other a lot. And our second way that we empower women to achieve their ambitions is through public awareness. So we do a lot of campaigns once a year. Last year was our Lean In Together campaigns, and that was a national campaign where Lean In obviously partnered with some MBA couples to show that it takes also your partner to empower you in the workplace. We got to get men in the conversation as well, and not just talking to ourselves. And this
is a
year,
demonstration
our
of Wirecast.
campaign is actually Equal Pay Day, which is DC's baby. Like, we've done this for the past 4 years, and now it's going to be a national campaign, which I can touch on and do a little plug for later. But we're really excited for that, and we're like super busy. So thank you for being accommodating with our schedule. Also, with public awareness, we do the Women in the Workplace report. So all the statistics that we talked about today, they round those up and disseminate them. And also
This
for
is
education,
a demonstration
which
of
is,
Wirecast.
they disseminate a lot of news articles, books, like Lean In. Yes, Cheryl is coming out with a new book, so be on the lookout for that. So that's what, these are the three components that help us empower each other. So this is how you join a circle. That's our website for Lean In DC. I highly encourage you guys to sign up. You can create a profile. It's kind of like the Facebook for Lean In.
This is a demonstration
We call
of
it the hub, where you
Wirecast.
can join. You can see everybody posting on there. You can join a circle. And like I said, there are 2 tech-focused circles, but we actually have decided that we were going to open a survey for anybody that's interested for tonight, and Nadie is going to talk more about this. So she's focused in STEM, and we're actually going to help create circles for you guys, so it takes out the effort of you, like, if you want to create a circle,
of
or if you want to
Wirecast.
find a different circle, we can actually just collect all your information from a survey, which I'll go to the next slide. So this is the link, and I don't know if it's live yet, but it will be live after this event, and if we want to share this information later, that would be awesome. And Nadie can talk more about her role. And so my last plug for the last slide, this is our social media. If you're
This
interested
is a
in getting engaged with us,
demonstration of
please follow us,
Wirecast.
like us, do anything you want. We have a newsletter that comes out every few months. We have content of, you know, our different events that are happening, relevant news articles, and we put a lot of work into the newsletter, so just to stay engaged. But did you want to come up here and talk
sure.
about?
Hi guys, girls, women. My name is Nidhi, and
This is
I'm
a
one of the newer
demonstration
members
of
of Lean In DC
Wirecast.
chapter. So if there are any technical questions about Lean In DC, I think MC is still the best person to answer that. However, I recently joined Lean In DC as their STEM lead for the DC area. I'm very excited about this role, and I'm really excited about this evening because with Women Who Code, I think there is a very, very symbiotic partnership that I envision, and I think we can make it really successful, bringing the
This is a demonstration
technical,
of Wirecast.
the brain side to also the mentoring and the softer side, which actually helps women navigate the ladder and the matrix of the organization. So that's my focus. I have an engineering background. I graduated way back. Let's not get into that, but graduated as an engineer, then got my MBA in 2010 from UVA. So I've been in more of a management role since then. I'm a director right now, but I'm very passionate about coding, development,
This
product
is a
development, product
demonstration of
design,
Wirecast.
and recently into data analytics. I'm learning Python on my own. So that's a little bit about me. I really envision us to partner with you, and I want to help build the circles that you think would make sense for you as women in STEM and women who code, that will help you navigate or connect with like-minded folks, other women who are more senior or who are your peers,
This
and
is a
achieve the goals
demonstration
that you
of
want to out of your
Wirecast.
career or out of your life in DC with people who work in the same field or who don't work in the same field. But you, so I think what we are trying to do here is within the Lean in DC chapter, we want to make these circles, and I want to help identify what those circles could be for you. So through this, through the link that was shared in one other slide, we had a survey. So the survey will ask you some basic
This
questions,
is a
but also
demonstration of
what are your
Wirecast.
ideas for kind of circles that you want to see. So you might want to see a Python circle, or women who code in data analytics, or women who are product managers, or women who are more on the digital advertising, UX side of things. These are just ideas. You could have completely different idea. And then what we want to do is condense those into little or big circles and then help connect, be the hub that connect all of you and have those goals of mentorship
This
or
is a
whatever you
demonstration
answer.
of
Take all of
Wirecast.
that, synthesize that, and kind of work as a machine to enable you to achieve your goals with the Lean Circles. So let me know if you have any questions. That's really my role as a STEM lead. This is the first initiative that I am taking with a lot of help from MC and the team. But I am very excited about it. I'm very honored to be here, and I want to know what you think. If you have any questions right now, as far as
This
Lean
is a
In
demonstration
and
of Wirecast.
or just the circles or DC chapter. Yeah.
So what does a circle generally look like? Does it look like a whole bunch of women just coming together and discussing whatever? Is it like at a restaurant or digital or?
Yeah, so it could be whatever you ultimately want. We have mostly circles that meet in person. I'm a part of two circles, so
is
like
a
I said,
demonstration
we're
of
part of the
Wirecast.
leadership circle, and I also have another circle where we meet once a month, and that was something that we discussed at the first meeting of what do we want to get out of this? How does this want to look like for us? So we decided we're going to meet once a month. It was going to be informal, but also we get to talk about things that happen to us at work, more of like a pure mentorship of this happened to me at work. I don't know what to do about it. Like, in getting advice from others. There are
This
some
is a
circles
demonstration
that
of
have
Wirecast.
a variance of demographics, but there are a lot of circles, in the same peer group. So it's really what Nadine was saying is what you want from it, you can get, and we can create that for you. So I hope that answers.
Yes. Yeah. For example, there's I think I'm not sure if it's in DC, but maybe I think it was in New York. It was like an investment circle, women who invest. So they'd share investment ideas, like ways to make wealth and ways the stock market, exchanging
This is
that
a
information.
demonstration
So
of
it can be as
Wirecast.
formal or informal. And you are women who code. I am too. But there's also things outside it that you might be an investor or you might be a writer, an author in making. So find those circles if you want. But my focus is on STEM, so I am really excited about that. But of course, there's so much more out there.
Yeah, for example, there's one circle in there. You can create any circle that you want on our hub. And I think their circle name is
This
something
is
like
a
Kick-Ass
demonstration
Women That
of
Love
Wirecast.
Brews. But their whole mission statement is like, let's drink over beer and like talk about our work. So it's it can be formal or informal. Like I said, what did I see another hand?
Do you want to take that, MC?
Sure. I mean, I am envisioning that they would be smaller groups, and it's more of
This is a demonstration
group
of
where-
Wirecast.
I mean, I don't know if you already have that. There are smaller groups within Women Who Code.
We have lab nights.
Yeah.
that are language specific, and they tend to be smaller, and there's a small
Yeah.
contingent of people who go every week.
Sure.
But we don't have anything formal like that.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess that would be the difference. We focus more on smaller groups so that you're around people that are lifting you up and empowering you through your
This
career.
is a demonstration of
And
Wirecast.
you're also, when you're part of Lean In, not just Women Who Code, like you're introduced to a bunch of other people. Like our whole leadership team, we're in all different industries. There's not one person. I think there's like 2 people out of 15 that are in the same industry. So it gives you a broader network of meeting different women that are in different places in their life. So
Yeah, different jobs, different industries. So it gives you a very wide spectrum of other folks to meet, also at different levels of the organization, to which I'm sure it's also the case with.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I'm wondering, is there like a format that the circles follow, or like is there like a philosophy or like a framework?
So we are kind of working on that. Well, we're working on it. So not officially, but for our Lean In DC chapter, because we've seen a huge response, we're actually doing a moderator training. So you have moderators to your circle, which are the leaders.
This is a demonstration of
And we'll be doing
Wirecast.
that, I think in April, just to help moderators guide their circles of what their goals are, what the circles aim to achieve out of that. So that's our thing that we're doing currently. But like I said, it's really all you come together as a group to figure that out. Of what are we going to achieve in our circle? Yeah, and there's a lot of education. So if we have time today, I have Lead In
This is a
Bingo,
demonstration
which
of
is on our
Wirecast.
website, and it's an icebreaker that they have for circle meetings. If you're interested in simulating an activity that you could do as a circle.
Well, and one thing when I was reading on your website is a lot of these are sort of time bound. So you put a circle together and you say, okay, we're going to meet for the next year, and then you get to the end of the year, and
This
you
is
have
a
those goals you want to
demonstration of
achieve, and then
Wirecast.
maybe the circle disbands and people start another circle or whatever. So that part of what you set up around the parameters are how long are you going to meet for, and like you said, maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once a week, or whatever those parameters are. But it seems like time can also be flexible. So maybe you can't commit to 5 years of these meetings, but maybe you could say, okay, I can commit to a year.
This is a demonstration
and these are
of
the goals I want to
Wirecast.
achieve in that year, and measurable things. So.
Yeah, exactly. In our leadership circle, we asked that our leadership circle commit for a year, just because it is a lot of work that we do for Lean In DC. So same parameters around circles of what you guys want to achieve during that time. So yeah, I think that's a great point. Does anybody else have any questions?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So that is something that the circles, we have a specific circles team that Nadine is a part of, and their whole goal is to help
This is a
people get placed in
demonstration
the
of
circles, help
Wirecast.
create them, and really facilitate the circles in general. But like I said, we've created a survey specifically for you guys so that you can take it if you would like. If you're interested in being put into a circle, if you're interested in creating another circle and being a co-moderator, and like Nadine said, of hearing your ideas of that you want to do something specific, and we put other women into that circle as
This
well.
is a
So if that's of
demonstration
interest,
of
this is just a very
Wirecast.
easy way because it takes, it takes the pressure completely off you, and we will create the circle. But if we go back to just the previous one. So how to join a circle, you can go to our website, you sign up as a profile, you join our chapter, and then you'll be able to see all of our circles. And you'll see all the ones that are still accepting new members, and that's where you can request. I think you have to write a little blurb of like, this is why I'm interested.
This is a demonstration of
And then the
Wirecast.
co-moderator should get back to you and say, hey, we're really interested, like, here's the next circle meeting that is coming up, please join us. And then they will accept you and you're automatically in the circle. You will be subscribed to their circle emails. So it is a very easy process as well. We just wanted to give you the opportunity to take the survey if there was a huge response from you guys and huge interest so that we could just help you.
Yeah, we can custom make the circles
This
for
is
you
a demonstration
and
of
send you invites.
Wirecast.
Yeah.
But you can join the chapter nonetheless using your Facebook or just your Google Plus or whatever credentials you want. You can join the Lean in DC chapter.
Did that answer your question? Yes. Awesome. Are there any other questions? Yeah. Yeah, sure. So my
This
first
is a
ever
demonstration
event
of
was Equal Pay
Wirecast.
last year, and I was just so astounded by the response. Like there were over, I think, 80 people there, and they had congresswomen talk about. They came in and just talked about equal pay, the Equal Pay Act, what they were doing, and I ran into one of the girls that was on the Lean In executive board, and we were talking about what I do for a living, and she asked me if I would be interested in
This
joining
is a
the
demonstration
executive team.
of Wirecast.
So I really just fell into it, and ever since it's given me this huge sense of purpose, because currently I'm not in a position where I'm utilizing all of my marketing skills of like what I actually want to do in my career. So it's given me a huge support of being around 15 women who are like all empowering each other, and I can go to them if I have any career advice. Also, it's a great network of like women that are in different industries, and they're like, "Hey, here's a job for you. Like, please connect with
This
this
is a
person."
demonstration
This is my
of
contact. So that
Wirecast.
is something that was overnight for me that I had never had before. So I think this group is very, you walk in and it's all understood that we're all on the same team and we're all trying to empower each other, which is something it was really exciting for me to come into. So I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, great question. But like I said, I'm new to Lean in DC, but I'll tell you a story of other Lean in chapters and what my friends have been able to accomplish. So I know my personal friend
This is a
who
demonstration
started out
of
with a startup
Wirecast.
idea. Through her Lean in network, she was able to find some like-minded women who would kind of do the product development with her. And then they were able to together trace some of the early stage investors who they could pitch to. I'm not saying that startup has hit the road yet or is going to be successful or not, but just finding those opportunities to to navigate the whole ecosystem of a startup or venture capital or whatever, what have
This
you.
is a
I think,
demonstration of Wirecast.
instead of not knowing like where to start, it's just like a support system of people with different skill sets that I think is great. And I'm excited. I'm new to the DC chapter, but I'm very excited about who I'll meet and what other opportunities might open up for me and what I might be able to open for other people.
Anybody else have any questions?
This is a
I'm just going to
demonstration
plug
of
in
Wirecast.
right now to sidetrack from Lean In, or it's still Lean In related. Everybody should mark their calendars for Equal Pay Day. We are doing a little special event, so if you connect with us, please keep a lookout for what we have in the works. Like I touched on before, we've done this locally for 4 years, and we've asked businesses to offer 20% off on Equal Pay Day because that is how much we get paid less. And it's even worse
This
for
is a
women of
demonstration
color.
of
So
Wirecast.
on Equal Pay Day, we are raising awareness of the wage gap. And this year, since it's a national campaign, 25 cities around the country are participating. So we're expecting a really huge response, and we really hope that this is going to change a lot of thoughts in Congress, and would love to engage with you guys further. So keep a lookout on social media. April 4th. It's
This
the
is
exact
a
date
demonstration
that it takes
of Wirecast.
us to earn the same amount as a man. A white guy too. So.
But April 1st is for white
April-
women.
Yeah, April 4th is for white women, but for black women, I think it's, because I think right now the statistics is 66 cents to the dollar, so that would be further out. And then for Latina, it's also.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
But we recognize those days too. We will be doing something this year as well. They're just like further out in the year. All right. Well, thank you so much. Oh, do you guys want to play bingo? We can do a little simulation. This is something that some circles. I actually did this with my circle, and it was a really great way to connect with new members in my circle. So what we
This
can
is a
do,
demonstration
I can
of
hand out,
Wirecast.
this sheet, and then you guys can get up and walk around and start talking to people, and whoever you guys can play bingo. So I guess the rule would be 5 across. Let's try not to do the free one yet, so you guys can do more. Is that cool? Yes?
It's gonna stop.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Sorry. No, you're fine. I'm just gonna. Feel free to get up and stretch your legs.
It says live. Maybe awesome. I'm not sure. So, oh, it might be on the app.